Hey everyone, it's Armstrong here from Other Miniatures, and today I'm gonna be finishing the 14 days of Gaslands. Sorry for the delay, but I have some renovations in my kitchen, and unfortunately this kind of delayed me. So in here we have all of the cars set up nicely on a little bit of terrain that I made for Mordheim some time ago. And what I'm gonna be doing is first of all I need to take this one and throw some rockets into this giant rocket dispenser, yeah, and add some colors, because right now they are very monochrome, yeah. So one unfortunate thing is I couldn't find any miniatures. I know that I bought some, and now that I have them somewhere, but only gods really know where I have them. I have only one of these tiny soldiers that I found in one of the other boxes, but this ain't gonna cut it. So maybe one day I'm gonna come back to them and just fill up the boxes. So yeah, that's most of the paints that I'm gonna be using. Oh, sorry, I added some blue in here. And let's just get into it, because we need to dirty them up a little bit. They look too clean. And of course, where is this? Yes, there is one more thing that we're gonna be using today. It's this crap. It's just a blemishes, or whatever you call this, when women use those powders for their faces. We're gonna be using this as a weathering powders, as they are much cheaper than the weathering powders you can get on the market. And if you don't have those, you can always buy pastels and just ground them down and use pastels for that project. So yeah, let's get into the table and start finishing these cars. The first color I want to apply to all of them is a matte white, and I want to apply it on every part that I'm gonna be painting in some sort of a brighter color, because when you have these metallics and black underneath, it's harder to apply yellows and blues and whatever, to look bright. So all of this cylinder is gonna go white, and to be completely honest, I don't care about how clean they're gonna look. As long as there is a white undercoat, the other paint's gonna take better, and this is matte white, so this color should really give a nice grip to others. Yeah, but I want these cylinders, I want this tank, and all of the cylinders that I have on every single car are gonna be painted in white, as well as all of the pipes. And I don't know about the rocket yet. I will think about that. But places that I want to have more vibrant colors for the entire warband, a team, I'm gonna go with a flat white. So I'm gonna do that and be right back. While painting these cars, I noticed a couple of small issues. The first one is in here. This gun isn't connected to anything, it's just laying on the hood. So I just gonna run a wire from here to probably this window here. And the other thing is, I was painting this guy, and I noticed that he is non-codex compliant. What I mean about that, he doesn't have any of those attached to him. So I just grabbed 4 of them, and I'm just thinking, just attaching them somewhere along here to just keep this detail and have him with the line, or in the line with all other cars that I have in this build. So yeah, I'm gonna add those, finish painting white, and be right back. Now that I get to this point, I have everything that I wanted to be white. It's time to make some rockets. So I'm gonna need 12 for this one, 4 for this one, and I would assume about 9-ish for this one. And what I'm gonna do is just take a toothpick, paint the tip red, and paint the middle metallic, and that's gonna be it. Cut it in half. I have 2 rockets. So I'm gonna do it and be back. So the rockets are finally dry. Now I just need to attach them to the models, and they might be a little bit long, yeah, because they are just half of the cocktails of the toothpick. And when I look at this, it's really, well, okay. I wouldn't say that it's too long, it's just fine sticking out. So to fix them, I'm just gonna make a blob of super glue on one of my containers here and just dab the back of it. So when I'm gonna be sliding it into the tube, it's gonna be spreading inside and getting the glue, you know, attached to entire rocket, not only one point. And of course they are a bit excessive, but this is for a game and I want to leave like a couple of them mid-lunch. So I'm just gonna leave those 2 in here. Come on. Like I seen a guy who make a lovely diorama of a cars actually, you know, like crashing and whatever, and he used this kind of fluffy ties. I don't know what you would call it exactly, but he just painted it as a smoke going from the rockets, and I was thinking about replicating this, and then when I went to the pawn shop I couldn't find anything like that, so unfortunately I couldn't replicate it. But in here right now I have completely crazy amount of rockets, yeah. So I think that he would have enough to last him the entire game if he needed it. And in here you can see that I fixed my issue. I added those 4, as well as in here I added the cable going to the window. And now in here, so honestly I would use in here a kebab skewers as a rockets, but simply enough I didn't have them, so I cannot. So I'm just gluing in those ones, yeah, and they are gonna be sticking out a lot. But I was expecting that. I can cut them to smaller size. Actually, I think that I'm gonna do that because they are just way too far. So I'm gonna just cut them just about this much. And stick them in. Yeah, it does look much better. You know, sometimes you just have to make a decision. And this one is still, there's something inside. I cannot see it, but there is something inside and I cannot put it in, so I have to cut it even more. My poor nipper is gonna be covered in super glue. Yep, come on. Now, there's one. Okay, so I need to cut one again very short and the other one a little bit longer. Maybe I should use a tweezers. I'm not used to using tweezers. I always do everything with my fingers. And one more. And it looks very junky. But yeah, here is the second rocket launcher filled up with rockets. And now I have only the one on this buggy. And for some reason there is red paint on the windshield. That's okay, it can work as a what do you call it? As a blood stains. And what I was thinking is this, that there are these little holes in here. So I was thinking that I'm gonna manage to put the toothpicks through those holes, but right now I can see that they are not big enough for the main part of the toothpick. So I'm just gonna go off screen and I'm probably gonna drill them or something and attach the toothpicks there. To fix the rockets inside, instead of drilling bigger holes, I actually cut them in half and shaved them to fit into existing holes. But now let's just get into painting. So what I need to paint first? First I need to get this one, and I want to paint the tip of the rocket red just to keep it in line with the rest of the rockets. I'll be right back after I have my palette. So I have my red paint, and just, you know, quickly just cover the tip of the rocket. I'm not very good at painting in a viewer, so I struggle a lot with that. And my advice is very simple. If you cannot see it, don't paint it. I've been damaging myself so much with that, you know. I always try to paint everything. But if you cannot see it, what's the reason? There is no point of doing that. So I have this, and this car is pretty much done. Now the weathering gonna be coming here. And now, what I want to paint red. Red are gonna be all of the little pipes. I actually forgot to prime this with white, but whatever. So I want to have all of those pipes in red. And generally I just want to add two colors to the cars. I want to add the red and blue. And I want them to be somewhat vibrant, because all of the cars are very muted with only dark color. So those two accent colors are necessary to bring some interest, you know, like in here, in this case it's going to be bringing the visual interest to the engine, and here to the back. And I spot another thing that I didn't prime. I didn't prime this small one in here, but that's okay. I went a little overboard with the white paint in some places. But yeah, this is basically what I want to do. I want to add the red and the blue, and in some places like this wire, I want to, if I have something that represents the wire, I want to paint it in like scorpion green, you know, very vibrant green color. And one problem I have is this headlight. I don't know, maybe something yellow. I still haven't decided, so I'm just gonna cover all of those little details in reds and be back. Now I have all the little red details painted. I added some red into the back of the jet engines as well. How you can see, it's very spotty, like I just use whatever red I have left on the palette. But right now I want to do the cables, and I only have 2 cars which need to have the cables painted. It is this one here, and like I said, I want these cables to be green. I was thinking about scorpion green, but I actually found a snot green, which is a bit darker, and I was thinking, you know, do I really want to go and search for the scorpion green? You know, do I really want that color so badly on the model? And I decided nope, I can go with the snot green. It's a bit darker, you know. You see, it's just adding this little detail of different color, and it's changing a lot for such a simple work. And I know that I have in here a splodge of white paint. I'm gonna just fix it up at the end when I'm gonna be fixing all of the little problems that I created by adding different colors, because it's so much easier to just do the car in one color and don't care about anything else. They are then, you know, extremely easy to finish painting. So yeah, I have this, and now the next color, it is the one that I really struggle with, is yellow. Yeah, yellow is probably one of my hardest colors. It always, whatever paint I use, the pigment is not the greatest. So I don't know, this is first time that I'm gonna be using this paint, so hopefully it's gonna be better than I expect. And what do I want to paint in yellow? There are, oh my goodness, I just put the finger into my green. I want to paint this tank in here, and there is one more tank which is in here. So that's the only 2 yellow pieces that I really want. And of course this light that I painted red for now, but I want to add a yellow in the middle. So I'm just covering this in yellow, and it is a bit thick, but then if I water it too much, it's gonna probably turn into something that you cannot paint with, you can only glaze with. So it is always the struggle with yellow paint, trying to, it's like with gold and yellow are always kind of hard. I'm very happy that this kind of environment that we try to represent in this game is a wasteland, so there ain't gonna be clean yellows or other very clean colors. I'm actually surprised how well this color is covering. Come on, I want a lot of water here, too much. I was hoping that I'm gonna be able to do some wet blending, but not really wet blending, glazing maybe a little bit around, but I failed miserably. So again, just add a blob of yellow in the middle, and I leave it like that for now. And now I need to find a darker shade of blue, so I'll be back in a second. On my palette right now I have a Midnight Blue by Games Workshop, some lighter blue, and the white color. And why do I have all those three colors? So I'm gonna just take this one, and what I want to do is to put a dark blue outside on the edge of the cylinders on both edges, then lighter blue more in the inside, and white in the very middle, so it's gonna be kind of a glowing effect. I actually never did that before, so it's a complete experiment for me, but I think that if this is gonna turn out well, it's gonna be worth it. So hold your fingers crossed and hope that I ain't gonna screw it up completely. And sorry that I'm not talking too much, but I'm concentrating to actually do it right. So I have one paint, and I don't want to wait for the paint to dry too much, because if I'm gonna be painting while they are still wet, they're gonna be blending a little bit. So I'm hoping for, well, this is too liquidy. I added a little bit of a airbrush thinner, and you know, well, this is too thin. It is roughly creating what I want to, so I'm happy with that. I hope that you can see what I'm going for in here. And at the end, you know, I'm gonna leave it to dry, and at the end I'm gonna just go with the white paint and just try to do very thin line in the middle. Hopefully it's gonna be enough. And now I have to repeat it on every single one of those, so be back in a minute. I got everything painted in bluish colors. So in here on this giant cannon you can see how nicely, it is still wet, but how nicely and transparent is that light blue paint. It creates this, like very easily you can create with it object source lighting. So I'm gonna just wait for it to dry off, and then I'm gonna add a little of white paint, you know, just in some places, and then maybe a little bit of dry brush with this blue paint, you know, hoping for more of object source lighting, especially on this one because it's a giant energy weapon. Yeah, so maybe I'm gonna even add some blue inside here. But since I'm stuck waiting for this paint to dry, and it's very liquidy paint, so it's gonna take it about 20 or 30 minutes to dry, I'm gonna just grab one of those foundation paints that I have. It is orange, and oh my goodness, it's a bit more liquidy than I thought. When I was transferring them from bottle to bottle, I must have used too much water. But what I want to do is take the two flyers that I have and add some orange into the jet engines, yeah? And this is a very dirty orange, but for some reasons the foundation paints from Games Workshop, they cover very well, no matter how badly you mistreat them. Yeah? So I have this, like I said, very liquidy. I must have screwed up during the transfer. Yeah, now this have the jet engine, and you know, I have a spill in here, but This is very easy to clean. Just grab a brush and brush it out. So I have one done, and then again this foundation paint wasn't great when I was transferring it, so yeah, now I can see it have more orange. I didn't shake it strongly enough. And the other one, and just add the orange in here around the edge. And I have in here, like, sorry, I just get out of the viewer again, but yeah, just adding this. So I have that, you know, all orange. And now I'm gonna come back to the red paint. It's quite thick, so it's gonna be easy to do. And the same brush, it is still wet, just gonna add more of a red inside here. And I'm not great at painting jet engines. It just, you know, I don't think that it's gonna be normally just one unified color. I think that should be two different colors, you know. So yeah, I have this again, just going around the edge, and that's it. Now this is all still drying, and since I already have to wait for drying, I'm gonna just go ahead, grab a Nuln oil and smack it on everything. So let's start from this one. And where do I have Nuln oil? There is a Nuln oil. I don't think that I ever open it. Yeah, but I bought it some time ago from I don't remember what store did I buy it from, but you know, one of the online stores. And you know, like, this is, you know, one of those miracle paints that help unite everything, usually. So just a little bit of that. It's gonna help dull the sharp colors that I added, like in here. Yeah, it just, I can throw it on the rockets. They don't have to be so nice and bright. Yeah, actually I'm gonna avoid the canisters because I want them to be bright. So just, you know, if you have that, you know what to do. Especially like the red things in here, the red pipes that I added. Yeah, they are very pronounced as a color. But now when I just add a little bit of Nuln oil, they really start blending in. Yeah, and even the yellow tank, I want it to be dirty and, you know, nasty. So all over the reds. If you are doing something similar, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is gonna mute the colors, help them to blend in to your paint job. And in here I have the giant rocket, and even the original one I can just dirty it up a little bit. The engine on this one, those pipes definitely need some wash. And what else? I think that I went so fast that I actually have pretty much everything done beside those rockets. Yeah, but how you know Nuln oil will go into recesses? And like I said, since I have to wait, I just gonna be waiting for it to dry off. So about half an hour before I'm gonna start anything else. Finally I got these boys to dry off, and here you can see the red after, you know, getting a little bit of wash looks much better, and these little resistors after adding the final line of white gain some sort of look like power sources or something. And now I have 3 different shades of brown in here, and I'm just gonna apply them in different spots on this giant brush and do the dry brushing thing. So, you know, wipe this off as much as I can. They're gonna mix a little bit, they're gonna stay in the same place, whatever. Yeah, but now I can start throwing them in here on the side of the cars. I don't want this to go too high, and I think that the brush didn't get any of that. Just feels like it is completely empty. So just, you know, adding this sandy dirtiness to them, to the sides of the car, and I don't want to put too much on top, so I'm mostly concentrating this dry brush on the sides, yeah, and on the wheels. So sides, wheels, front. So how you can see from a metallic, this car just turned into, you know, this kind of dirty sandy color. Yeah, and I'm gonna do this on all of the cars, you know, just up to the area where the windows are. Yeah, so this is gonna be again a little bit time consuming, but it's gonna give this the beginning of the dusty look on them, especially that, you know, dry brushing itself creates a dusty effect, and this isn't really dry brushing, it is more of an over brushing, as I'm getting more heavy with it. But we can easily see how this is collecting on the sides of the panels. And creating again this very dusty look to them. This is the first layer, and then afterwards I'm gonna be going with the weathering powders. So I'm just gonna do this all over these cars and be back in a sec. All of the cars got sufficiently dusted with the dry brush, and I want to just push it a little bit farther with the weathering pigments. So first, you know, from what I saw on the videos, people apply some white spirits on the car. So I'm interested, you know, in having some more of it here around the wheel well, around the bottom of the car, and in here. And this is first time that I actually do it with the what do you call it, with white spirits. So I want to add some dark brown that I found in here, yeah, and of course some piece of hair already, like I don't know that you can see it, but there is a very subtle effect. And you know, like what I'm thinking is this brown, this beige, and this orange kind of works, as well as this dust one. Yeah, maybe they are not visible very well, but I'm just thinking, you know, the desert that they would fight would probably be, you know, kind of reddish, orangish. Yeah, so I like this weathering pigments, because, well, they are not weathering pigments, they are actually just blemishes or whatever you call it properly. I like them because, first of all, they are cheap. I bought this one for like less than €5, I think. And secondly, it's very easy to use. If you don't know, you can ask your girlfriend, your wife, or any female in your family how to do it. Yeah, and they very quickly give you very nice dusty effect on your car, yeah, without much in a way of actually work, because how you can see, you can just dust it off, dust it on, dust it off easily. And it's really, like, even if you don't use the white spirits, because when I started with this entire idea, I was just using a chalk pastels grounded down. I still have them somewhere, but you can see that even when you tap the car, this doesn't go anywhere, and it really enhanced the dustiness effect of it. So one place I think that the dust gonna collect is in here. Yeah, on this car probably everywhere around the plates, but I think that I actually settled on that color. Yeah, you can see how quickly you transform the car with just a couple of brushes of that. So I will just go around all of the cars and be right back with the next trick, to make them more Gaslandy, I guess. After very quick secondary dustification of the cars, you can see they actually got extra color. Yeah, like I went especially heavy on the Mars Federation cars because they didn't have too much of the color, and I know that I don't go underbelly, but nobody really see the underbelly of those cars during the races. And what I noticed is that when you go with the powders over the window grades, they actually turn out very well. So that's the one thing. And now pretty much I think that I have only one more thing to do, and those guys gonna be done, and I just gonna then throw them on the spin table one by one. But the one last thing I want to do is I'm gonna show you in a sec. So as we all know, the boys in Gaslands do not play nice with others, so what I wanted to do is some blood splashes. So just take a brush, yeah, and load it with the red paint, and yeah, we have a giant blood splash on the ram. Some goes onto the hood, we can go on the side as well, because that was my idea, that this is gonna be something to cut. Yeah, I think that I overdid it a little bit, but we're gonna see how it's gonna dry out. Yeah, and this one already have some splotches from, yeah, and I will just go like that over all of the cars. Yeah, and of course then I'm gonna throw them on the spin table. And here we have the spin table. I know that this video turned out to be a little bit longer probably than the other ones, and much choppier, but I was just trying to show all the steps that I take to achieve this. So you have in here one bug. How you can see the splatters on the front really make him look Gaslandy, I would say. Yeah, and here is the second one. It looked like he just rammed through someone, and the splatter even went on the power cells in the back. I was thinking that they're gonna be some sort of fuel canisters, but right now they just look like some sort of giant power sources. So I guess all of them are Tesla cars. Yeah. Let's go with the next one here. If you want to oh, come on, focus. Yeah, if you want to achieve a little bit better effect with the blood splatters, you can always go with two different shades of red, you know, one very bright red and the one more muted one. But I guess it's not really necessary. Yeah, how you can see, these splatters really went everywhere, and I was only approaching this from like two different angles. And I know that those cars aren't painted perfectly, yeah, but for me they are good enough tabletop quality, and that's what I'm going for. Yeah, and you know, I have fun. If you have any ideas for future projects for me, I'm willing to listen to the suggestions. And for now, I'm just gonna allow you to watch. I had a lot of fun working on that project. So if you liked it, please rate, comment and subscribe. And don't forget to press the notification bell to see what next madness I'm gonna come up with. And of course, have a lovely day. Take care. And I forgot about this one. Somehow missed it.